one who bends spears with his power. Come. It belongs to the king of Duguza, the great King Shaka, the invincible one, the one greater than the greatest of kings. This song is about King Shaka. People whose cattle were taken by the king's regiments after they had conquered them were mourning the heads of cattle confiscated by the warriors after the war. The song indicates the people's feelings of powerlessness to confront the king. The "ow, ow, ow" is a reflection of two-way communication, an indication of hesitation to comply. Siyakhalel inyamazane ifile. We mourn the dead bug. The Zulu warriors were mourning the fact that they had thought they would die for the king, but they ended up mourning a dead bug. They had already sharpened their spears to use in a war which proved to be a fruitless exercise. They relegated this to the fact that all their lives had been conflict-ridden.
Abantu babe nethemba lokuthi
Saze sabulawa kwaZulu. Oh, we are killed in KwaZulu.
athile ahluke.
People had hope.
Kuzoba ngcono nangesikhathi singaphambili.
They were hoping that things would change under King Dingane, and that it would not be the same as the reign of King Shaka. When they noticed that the killing continued, they then composed and sung the song, which basically says, Zulu, what's happening? Why are we killed? People hoped that the killings would stop under Dingane's era. This is King Dingane's song. The song is about people complaining about the prominence of the killings. Initially, people had thought that with the death of King Shaka, who was King Dingane's brother and who was assassinated by him, they would experience some respite from being killed. Unfortunately, King Dingane continued to wage wars. He killed many of his brothers, preventing them from challenging his power. People were then worried and feared for their lives. So singela nakontanya. We will even hunt at Ntanya. This is a hunting song. The Zulu people referred to the whites as small-necked people. Hence they call them Ontanya. Under the white rule, there were many land demarcations and legislations, some of which prevented leisure hunting. The Zulus were defying the restrictions by saying that they would hunt wherever they wanted to. They further stated their frustrations of being the subjects of other people. At the same time, they were emphasizing that they preferred to be charged rather than relent to a white man's authority in their own forefathers' land.
Awutholwe ezizweni sinomkhonto wezulu sasiyawuthetha amacala yandinda nomkhonto sihlatshiwe lusuthu sesihlabile sesiyawuthethana namacala sisatshisa ngomkhonto isandlane obuhlungu uthole selungwini
Mtwana kade ulelephi? Where did the prince sleep? This is a song in jovial times, when people gathered in festivities or when a warrior was coming back from seeing his maiden. He would often hear people singing this song. Amahubo are divided into various categories. There is Mgwagwa, a jovial hunter. There are also those sung in times of sadness. These are sung of a king or when a king was crowned. Amahubo were sung even when a new bride was brought home. This was a way to join the families and the ancestors as one. Mtwana kade ulelephi? Prince, where did you sleep? This song was sung by other princes asking Prince Siyakhalel about where he had slept the previous night. The said prince was suspected of having taken a virgin from the Mthetho clan who was on camp awaiting her coming of age ceremony. Umemo. The brothers wanted him to confirm their suspicions. Zulu sicela impi. Zulu, give us war. The Zulu people were in a spirit and mood for war. The warriors were asking King Shaka to instruct them to go and fight and seize cattle from the white people who were bothering them. Umagasa akathandwa ndawo. Magasa is disliked everywhere. Magasa is another name for Prince Mdayi, father to Prince Gideon Zulu. The song laments that he is disliked by even those that he helped. It also mentions that Prince Mdayi is an important man who is called all over the world. He was charged for treason with King Zulu at Greytown. The prince is called to answer to a call of defending the Zulu throne. He was also referred to as Mafotla, and this literally means the gate crusher.
Salthathe kusene ndonda kusuka ngempi
Salithathizwe ngomkhonto eNdondakusuka. We conquered with a spear at the battle of Ndondakusuka. The song is about the war that took place at Ndondakusuka, which was between the two brothers Cetshwayo and Mbuyazo. The war was caused by their father King Mpande, who hoped that Prince Mbuyazo would win the battle and succeed him to the throne. Instead, Cetshwayo won. His followers, known as Usut, were gloating and flaunting their victory, asking who provoked them, also idolizing the spears that they used to defeat Mbuyazo. Mbuyazo's battalion had fooled themselves to think that they could defeat Cetshwayo. Yenza kahle Mgwagwa wezulu. You are doing well, Mgwagwa of the heavens. Mgwagwa refers to King Zulu. This was sung during the war of Mtashana, which was between the king and the Boers. At this war, some Zulu people deserted the king and fought on the side of the enemy, like Magunyana Kantanjana of the Mbata clan. King Zulu warriors were happy for being at war with the Boers because the Boers had annexed the king's land from Vryheid to St. Lucia. The king's part of this war was led by Skobo Wakanogwaza of the Sibia clan. Ayeza mangwane ekuseni. The Ngwane people are coming in the morning. This is King Mpande's song, which refers to the cattle that were taken from the Ngwane people after they were defeated. The Ngwane people were scared that the Zulus were coming to fetch more cattle in the morning. This was a reminder of the Zulu victory over them and to keep them on their toes.
Ihube silenzayo manje elenkosi yasemgungundlovu inkosi uDingane umashikizela mashimpi yakhe uhlaza nganyongo yenyamazane mase kuphela ukudla emphandweni nasesibayeni sekuncipha amaguqa inkomo bese kuthi insizwa ke sezisho ke zithi hamba Mdayi, hamba Mdayi siyoshisa izwe lakwaNtombela noma izwe lakwasobadla.
Hamba Mdayi soshisa izwe lakwaNtombela. Let us go and burn Ntombela's land. This is King Dinga's song, and Umgungundlovu was his palace. It was sung during the time when there was scarcity of food in the large traditional storage baskets and shortage of cows in the kraals. The warriors would urge the king to send them to other people's land like the Ntombelas to grab food and cattle. In a nutshell, the song is a conversation between the aspiring invaders and those who were against the proposed action. Those saying "Awu, awu" are those who were against the attacks on other people's land.
Sizawuqala elinye ihubo. Ihubo esiqala ngelenkosi yakwaNodwengu. Lithi
Wazidla izwe lonke. He seized the cattle all over the land. This song is the king of Nodwengu's song, King Pan. It is one of the Zulu songs regarded as a prayer, ihubo. It purports to alert others that there were people harassing and provoking the king and regarding him as a stupid person. Even his brother Dingana thought Mpande was an imbecile. King Mpande's supporters were then saying that the king is a peaceful man, warning others not to cross